After stitch welding the seams in the front end of the car, I moved my attentions to the rear. In order to get in at where I want to work under the floor, I'm going to have to take off the rear beam. These wheels probably won't see service on this car again unless it's just for wheeling in and out of the garage. But I'm glad to still have a set of those old Kadett wheels with the porthole-like openings on them. I think they were slightly over-engineered. I'll clean them up and use them on something. So this is the rear trailing arm setup of the Kadett D. It's got the conical springs, and I had a relatively new set of dampers fitted to it while I was doing a bit of running around in the car when it was first assembled and registered in Ireland. So I had to move the axle stands, which were on the beam, to these reinforced sections on the sills. Dropped it down onto those, and I need to support the beam a little bit at this strong point just below the dampers while I disconnect them from the top. These had a slightly unusual locking mechanism, so there was actually a hexagonal clip screwed down above the nut, so I had to release that, so it would prevent the nut from loosening due to vibration or anything like that. So handy to get that off, and then it's the same size as the nut below. Luckily the center of the damper wasn't actually turning, so I didn't even need the little spanner to hold the center to stop it going with the nut. Finger loose then, and took off the little bushings. So drop that side down with the jack. You just see the top disappearing through the strut tower, and I'll swap it over now to the other side and support that when I take off the other one. So I've already got the clip off and loosened that bushings off, the little cap. Now clean up the bolt for the bottom one. I've encountered these extremely rusted and fused into place, so I wasn't even going to bother going at this with a ratchet or spanner. Just cleaned off the head so that the socket would go on nice and easily, and got some lubricant in around it, and it actually came off quite easy. Of course, I've been in here and I've had these on and off not too long ago. But that's the handiest way to spin the bolts out, the remaining bit after they're finished coming out of the threads through the bushing. A bit of a wiggle to get them out. Found this interesting. Look, just a little vibration on the left made the right hand hub shake. So there's really quite a lot of flex in that rear beam. So you know, it gives both sides a little bit of independence, I suppose. Surprised to see that it's not totally rigid. So it does have a torsion bar going through the middle, but it doesn't actually connect to the body or anything like that. It literally just reduces the amount of twist within the beam. I find that quite interesting. I was only thinking about it the other day before I started going at this, and that it kind of almost seemed a bit pointless, but actually just seeing there, even with the torsion bar in position, there's still quite a bit of twist from each side. So having the bar in position probably does make an improvement to the handling. Might be a fun thing to experiment with, trying the car with and without it. And maybe there's bars of different material in the GT SR, or I think this shell was originally an S. So now the big main bolt, I have the center of the beam ready to be caught on the jack. That's quite good condition rubber cup for the top of the spring. Get this out. Leave the nut on it there just to give it a bit of a a push through, and I gave the beam a bit of a hug there to take the weight off the bolt to pull it out. More weight on the other side, so I did manage to push it a little bit through, but I'll use the gun, and the threads will assist it in popping it out then. It's held by the jack now, so I'll lower that and it will come down onto the hubs. There's not a lot of weight on this, so I don't think it'll do any harm, and I just have to manhandle it off. Out it comes. I'm going to lie it flat now. All the brake pipes disconnected, and the handbrake cables were loose. And that's my rear trailing arm out. I'm looking forward now to welding up along the seams under the rear of the Kadett.